Any questions?
You frightened us off.
Yeah. And yeah, the change we want is the change to go to lunch quickly. This group, do you have any final comments you want to add, or do you feel it's been covered by what's been? Any volunteers? Yeah, do you want to just make a couple of points? Just a couple of points is fine. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I'm sorry, we've written all the posters, but not for these two last questions. So you have to cope with my German accent, okay? So I'm just adding some points or making some remarks. So we thought about strategies, and we think it's very important that before we come to policy making, that we have to revisit the existing policies. Some of the policies might be very good, which we want to keep. Some of the policies might not be even very conscious to us, so we have to make them conscious to us before we decide to change or to keep them. After that, of course, policy making should, of course, be done by the top management in consultancy and in month-long consultancy in task groups with the school heads and the teachers, and maybe also some other stakeholders like consultancy agencies or the parents. It's very, very important that during the process of policy making, all stakeholders are involved and do have a say and come out with their opinions and experiences also. Then it was again pointed out that a strategy has to keep in mind that we have to become more flexible in syllabus. Because if we talk about changing and opening up towards learning communities, work will become more, and pedagogics will involve more of our resources. Life will not become easier at school, and we should not be hindered or blocked by syllabus questions. So this is something which has to become a policy decision. Do we want to change the syllabus, and do we want to become more flexible in that? We are saying yes, but we have to convince the management of such a big corporation, of course. So then less assessments. We would need to have less assessments. That's very important. And we should think of having assessments in core subjects only. So I cannot comment on that because I'm not on the teaching level. I'm just, saying what our group was discussing, and I want to leave it with us as an idea. Strategy, of course, has to be a change in organizational structure, in basic structures. If we talk about such a change, which we talked about during this workshop, it goes up to the core of an organization. It's nothing which can be done in 1 or 2 years, and it will change the nature of the organization. And we think it will propel our organization, which we all love and which we are all working every day, towards building schools of tomorrow, towards making us more viable for the future. So that leads us to the implications for Beaconhouse school system. Our group found a lot of positive implications, and we do not see so many risks if we follow the path of proper policy making. We think that the implications of such a change will be a higher motivation for all teachers and for all staff members, actually. And we will, as a corporate, become more competitive, even more competitive. We might become even a role model, a trendsetter for the whole educational market, from which also the public sector could profit. And we would certainly become even more attractive for the clients, who are the parents and the students. I thank you so much, and I invite your comment. Yes.
I want to add here that we have so many nice ideas today here, and everyone has his own ideas. Actually, here's a suggestion that we should stop being the followers and start implementing your original ideas, start experimenting. Because unless you experiment, you cannot lead. Once you experiment a thing and you will find that it's successful, then others are bound to follow you. Only then you will prove yourself to be the educational leaders. And as the panelists today yesterday have said, that all are student leaders and teacher leaders, only then we can justify our being leaders in education. So keep experimenting, and I think Beaconhouse is the most appropriate forum for this experimentation, because it has a broad student base and a very organized faculty, and we have, it's a very, I think, very nice place to experiment new things and to introduce revolutionary changes and fill in the leadership vacuum in our country. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Just one brief thing. Okay, do I have to speak on this? It just doesn't work when I use it. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll just add to what she said, and that's something that I think that's very important. We all think that and agree that change is needed. We have got our strategies. We have to categorize them as long-term strategies and short-term strategies. We have to work on the short-term strategies first, looking into the future, what we actually want and where we actually want to be, say, in about 15 years' time. That is what we need to bear in mind. And then again, it's not necessary to be successful in whatever we do. We should, do away with this fear of failure. This is very important, because even when I myself started off teaching, because we all come from that base, and then we move into administration later on, and as administrators as well, we have our own separate fears, because then we are answerable to this is a corporate organization, let's be very honest about it. He said they're not going to kill us for that. You're going to stay by with your words. Okay, we're being very honest. So when you have a total hierarchy this way, it's for us. We need to be fearless in what we do to a certain extent. And we need to be very, very open to some ideas that at times are, very flamboyant and do not seem practical. But then again, sometimes I've seen it happening myself, that 80% of what you do new is a failure. Only hardly about 20% is where you are actually achieving your goals. So you should be prepared. Every one of us should be prepared to do that if we actually want to change, and if we actually want to do something in the near future. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, very quickly, as otherwise we have lunch.
Yes, I really agree with you. That's why I think that we shouldn't.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Okay. Hello. No.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just say what you.
It's working.
It's working. It should be working.
Okay. Actually, that's why I say that we shouldn't stress on implementing things or implementing our ideas on the system. We should rather practice on our individual level, so that if they're successful, others are bound to follow. Others will automatically be attracted towards that.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much. Thank you all very, very much indeed.